My name is Elisabeth Rasmusson and I am the Secretary General of the Norwegian Refugee Council, NRC. NRC is the largest humanitarian organization in Norway. As our name is saying, we are working with refugees and displaced. We have 65 years of working to help and protect refugees and displaced people. In the 20th century, we were working very much on refugees and internally displaced that had been forced to flee because of war and conflict and gross human rights violations. What we see now is that more and more people flee because of climate-related natural disasters. Millions and millions of people are displaced. So as a humanitarian organization, we also need to take that into consideration, and we also now need to see how we should adjust our target group so that we can start, or continue I would say, to help also those who have been forced to flee because of natural disasters. We have been working on this conference, the Nansen Conference, that we are having here in Oslo these days. We've been working for a long time on this conference, together with the Norwegian government, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Development and Ministry of Environment. And then there are two NGOs, Cicero and Norwegian Refugee Council. And we have been working on this conference because we wanted to celebrate the great humanitarian Fridtjof Nansen, Norwegian first High Commissioner for Refugees in the world, but he was also a scientist and an explorer. Very brave man, strong humanitarian. He made himself a name because he was working to protect refugees from the First World War. So since this year, it's 150 years since Nansen was born. And we thought we need to celebrate his anniversary with a conference where we can bring together people from all over the world to focus on and discuss the new challenges related to displacement, the new humanitarian challenges related to climate change. And what we see in this conference, we have brought together the climate experts and the humanitarians. We have had the High Commissioner for Refugees, we have had the EU Commissioner Kristalina Georgieva, we have had politicians, NGO leaders, representatives of the United Nations, donors. A lot of people have come together, and I think everybody I have talked to say that they have really found it very interesting that two worlds have met in this conference to discuss climate change and the consequences of climate change, which is natural disasters intensified and multiplied, and that leading to people being displaced. Of course, over the past years, many organizations have been collecting statistics on populations that have been affected by natural disasters and climate-related natural disasters. But it's only 3 years ago since we started to look at displacement as a consequence. And we did a report together with OCHA in 2008. And we found that 36 million people were displaced because of climate-related natural disasters that year. This year, again, we have made a new report showing the number of displaced in 2010 and in 2009. And the shocking exploration that we have done is that in 2010, 42.3 million people were displaced because of climate-related natural disasters. Floods, storms, extreme weather. So in just 1 year, the total number of displaced because of climate-related natural disasters is about the same as the total accumulated number of those who have been displaced because of war and conflict. So the report that we presented shows that it's a huge challenge, and we need to start dealing with it seriously. And this conference is a first step to come to some concrete recommendations on how we should meet these challenges. The recommendations that are coming out of this conference will be about how the climate related displaced should be protected, better protected, because there are gaps in the protection systems, how they should be assisted, and also what we can do to prevent displacement, because that's very, very important, of course. So the conference will come with some, hopefully, very strong recommendations, and these recommendations we will then feed into political processes. We will feed it into the ministerial conference in Geneva in December, and we will also feed it into Durban in South Africa, also in December, and we will find ways of bringing these recommendations to life. I've been to many conferences in my life, and what happens is that very often everybody's there for the first important speeches, and then people start to trickle out, and on the second day, normally, you maybe have 1/3 left in the room. On this conference, I feel that people have been there all the time and very engaged and very much, discussing, because it's not the same things that we are just processing over and over again. I think it's for a lot of people here, it's interesting and exciting because it's new issues, it's new perspectives, and it's new knowledge that we are really, I think, gaining and sharing in this conference. So that makes me very happy. It makes me happy to be, in an organization that can contribute in a coordinated manner with other important actors to put focus on important challenges and then work together to try to find way to deal with it. It's very satisfactory. The next step for us will be on the research side. We need to find much more resources so that instead of only documenting the number of people displaced every year, we need to also be able to monitor what happened to those that were displaced in 2008, what happened to those that were displaced in 2009, how many has gone back home, and how many remain in displacement. This is something that we need to get resources so that we can monitor it. And then on the advocacy side, we will, as NRC, refine our messages that we can bring to politicians, to UN agencies, to host governments, etc. And on the program side, Norwegian Refugee Council is working in 20 countries, and we will see how we can also improve our programs to work in the best possible way to help those that have been displaced by natural disasters and climate-related natural disasters.